Hi, welcome to episode 87B of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There is a Ravelry group for the podcast. Please come over and join. Thank you so much for being here. Today is all about the sewing. As I took my break, I did a lot of sewing and I just had to separate things out a bit. So the last video was all about the knitting and the yarn, and this episode is just sewing. So if you're not interested in sewing, see you next time. If you are, stick around because it's going to be a lot that I'm going to show. So first off, I am wearing a Molly top. It looks like this. The pattern is by Sew Over It. It is in their City Break ebook that I got right after they released it. And I finally made the Molly top. I wanted to make this forever. This is the pattern front page. It is for knit fabric and it has a drop shoulder. So the shoulder is, the arm, shoulder, sleeve thing is connected until here, and then you add the actual sleeves. It's also for as a t-shirt, you just don't add the sleeves. And there is a dress version of this as well, but I'm not sure if a dress out of jersey fabric like this would be good for me, so I didn't do that. As you can see, it's loose and floppy, and that's just perfect. That's exactly how I like my things, because I don't like too tight fitting stuff. Not everyone needs to know the shape of my body, that's the way I like things. Now where do I put this? In here. I made the first version, because I have a second one that I will show in a second, out of this fabric, and I got this fabric at the Holländische Stoffmarkt, which is a fabric market that travels around Germany and I think the Netherlands, because it's called the Dutch fabric market. And you can get these coupons, that's what they call it, and it's a already cut piece of fabric that's 1.5 meters long and the width of the fabric, and you can get those really cheap. And this is one of these. I made it out of one of those coupons and I'm super happy with it. It feels great, it was easy to work with, and yeah, I'm just really happy with it. What I did for the size, because I'm not a one size person, I'm like 100 sizes in one person. So what I did a size 14 until the waist, and then I just graded it out to the 16, and that's what I have on now. 14 for everything till the waist and the 16 for the bottom, and that fits perfectly. So I was so happy with this one that I made a second version out of this fabric. It is very thin. It's another coupon from the fabric market. It looks like this. As you can see, this fabric is not the best quality, because if you get cheap fabric, you get cheap fabric. But for a throw-on t-shirt, I really just don't care, to be honest. If this lasts me a year or two, I'm gonna be happy about it. What accidentally happened on this one, and I'm quite happy about this, there is the darker stripe on this side, and it is also on this side on the back. So it's like it was planned, but it wasn't. It's a happy coincidence. So this is the back. It has a curved hem that goes up on the side seam, and yeah, I just really like it. I'm gonna make many more of these, because I think that they make great just around the house throw on if you want to go shopping, or even if you use nicer fabric, they will make great top for just every occasion. So yeah, I have these two now. I'm gonna make many more, because they are quick. I think with cutting and twin needling, it takes about 1.5 hours. It's super quick and really nice. So that's perfect. And this goes in the wash now. So that was the first thing. I made these the weekend before my father passed. I had a free weekend. My son and my husband were away, and I decided to just sit down and make something for myself. And I made these 2 tops, and then I started a blouse, and that's the next thing I'm going to show. This is my autumn blouse that I made. It looks like this. The fabric is from Butinette, which is a German big box fabric shop. Not fabric, like a craft shop. It's online and they have only one real shop front, but you can get really nice crafting things for not that expensive. So I got this fabric there. I think it was like 6 or 7 euros a meter, and I bought 1.5 meters. And I made this blouse. As you can see here, I had to do some modifications again. So let's start with the important stuff. This blouse is, it looks like this in the original. And this is the big picture of it. The pattern is from an old Buddha magazine from 2005. It's the February issue from 2005. I got these magazines on eBay the whole year 2005. So I made this blouse, and this is my version. As you can see, it has piping here, and it also has piping in the back. I made the piping myself. I cut up a fat quarter that is actually dark brown and white polka dots, but it just worked out that you cannot see the polka dots at all in the finished blouse. They just disappeared. And I made it using Aran weight leftover machine washable yarn. So that's what I did. And yeah, it has a puffed sleeve, as you can see here. It's really cute. It has a gigantic collar. And it was my first time sewing a blouse with a collar, with a button band like this, and with piping. So that was it's a lot of new stuff to learn, but I'm quite proud of how the button bands turned out. And I did find out that my sewing machine can sew on buttons. So that was amazing, because sewing on all of these buttons took less than 5 minutes. It's perfect. What I did for the size, again, the size in the magazine goes only up to a size 42, and that's not inch bust size. That's a German size. And the problem is I need a 40, 42 around the bust, but my ass is quite a bit bigger. So I did use my pattern pieces, and as you can see from about here, I just drew it out quite a bit. And it fits perfectly. I really want to make more of these. I'm really happy and very proud of how this turned out. And yeah, I'm just super happy. It's a wonderful blouse, and I found the perfect cardigan to go with this in my closet. So it's a win-win, and it's my proudest make, I think, because it turned out wonderful. And if I hold it up, you cannot see me. If I put it down, I'm back. And the sun is going to come in. That's bad, but well, so here, my blouse, second finished object. And then I finished this on the day that my dad was in hospital and should have had his surgery. So I was very proud. I wanted to show it to him. And then I got the phone call that changed about everything. And I could not deal with it. I couldn't face the fact that he was gone, and I couldn't deal with it. So what I did is I threw myself into sewing, because when I knit, I've been a knitter for so long that I just don't have to think about it. So I did some sewing, because when I sew, I really have to pay attention. I really have to concentrate on it. And I did make, I think, 10 more garments in that week. So the next thing that I did, I finished this skirt. It was almost done already. I had made it on the weekend where I was alone. I only needed to hem it. This skirt is made from stretch cotton that I got at Gläser, which is, my go-to fabric shop. And it is a Max Mara fabric, which is a designer label. And they just get their leftover pieces of fabric and sell them. And this is one of those pieces. I had 70 centimeters. And that's exactly what I needed for this pattern. So the pattern is this one. This skirt here. It's called Other Stories. The pattern is in the magazine Knit Trends, issue 2, 2016. This is a very new German magazine. It is a translation from a Spanish magazine. So that's the pattern. I did a size 46, which is the largest size, because like I said, you know, I'm quite big around the bottom. And yeah, this is the skirt. It is one piece cut on the fold in the front. It's 2 pieces in the back with a little bit of shaping. It has a concealed zip, and I have a hook and an eye to close it. What this also has is a lining, and it's the first time that I did a lining. And it also is a Max Mara, and it has the exact same color as these things out. So that's the lining. I did not do a hem on the lining. I just overlocked it and made it 5 centimeters shorter so it wouldn't show. And for the hem, I decided to not do a normal hem. I did it with bias binding. And when I sewed it on, I just was so far in that it almost flipped open. So I just did a second seam, and now I have a 2-seamed hem at the bottom. And I'm quite happy with it. So I think this turned out wonderful. I really like it. So it's just a normal easy skirt. And so I finished that. And then I decided, okay, I need to make something quick and easy. And I did order 2, actually 3, but I only made 2. I made 2 Lane Raglans by Hey Tune Patterns. This is the front page of the pattern. And I got it with Sprout Patterns. So I did do all the fabric combinations and everything myself, and I was so happy with it. And I thought, oh, these are going to be amazing. And now I finally made them, and my fabric choices are a bit questionable, let's say it like this. So the first one I made out of jersey fabric, which is a good thing. And these are my fabric choices. I'm gonna come closer so you can really see it. So this is what it looks like. And you can choose everything the way you want. And I went for these 2 patterned fabrics, and I like them. I'm just not sure if I like the finished object. Sewing these together was super quick. You know, when you get stuff from Sprout Patterns, you have the pattern pieces printed. So you just have to cut around and assemble. And as this is a Raglan and it's knit fabric, I made everything on the overlocker. I didn't twin needle around at the end. I just overlocked everything together and was done. So these were done in under an hour each. So yeah, that's the first one. Normal jersey fabric, size large. I got these printed in a size large. So this is okay-ish. And then the second one, because, you know, I got these a few years ago before, no, not a few years. Yeah, well, 1.5, 2 years ago, before I knew anything about sewing. And I thought, oh, performance piqué, that sounds interesting. Let's go for that. And I did. And it was not the best idea I ever had. So this is it. That's the second version. Out of performance piqué fabric, which is like bathing suit fabric. And I got this Nebula Galaxy fabric and this very weird orange, yellow, purple stuff for all the cuffs. But for around the house, it's going to be okay, you know. It's very, very different. Let's say it like this. So yeah, these are my 2 Lane Raglans. I'm gonna make more, because if you get something from Sprout Patterns, you not only get your printed stuff and how to assemble it, but you also get the original pattern as well. So I have the original pattern, and I'm gonna make more because they're super easy, super quick, and yeah, I'm just out of jersey, you know, it's just like da-da-da, done. And then when I had that done, I decided to finish all my UFOs. So the first UFO that I finished is this blouse here. It is out of vintage fabric with the 90 centimeter width. That's, what is that? 36 inch wide fabric that I got at a flea market. It has this interesting pattern. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks amazing. And I have used this pattern here. It's from a fashion style magazine from this year. I think it's the March issue. Yes, it is. And it looks like this. That's the magazine that I used. I went for a size 40 because these patterns are quite big. And what I did, because when I cut this a long time ago. This is sometime in the beginning of the year, right after I received this magazine, I think the day after I started this blouse. And what I did not do is take in my hip measurement. You know, I only went for, okay, this is gonna fit around the bust, it's perfect. But my ass is a bit bigger, so it would not have fit. So what I did, I added my butt triangles again. I was lucky to have a little bit of fabric left over, and I'm not even sure if you can tell, but in here, right in the middle, I added a triangle of fabric. The point of it is here. That's the point, and it goes down. And I have added these on either side, and now it fits perfectly. I'm quite proud of this, actually. So yeah, vintage fabric from the flea market. It has a seam here and also one in the back, but you can't really tell. Well, you can see it a bit better in the back because the pattern is a bit different. I had gotten 3 meters of this fabric at the flea market, and I used up almost everything because of the width. I couldn't put pieces next to each other. I had to put them in a line under each other. So I used up almost everything of this that I had. It has a stand-up collar. I think it's called a Mandarin collar, but I'm not sure about that. And the buttons came from my stash. Again, I sewed them on with the sewing machine because I will never do it different again. And so yeah, I made this one. Fits perfectly, goes great with a black cardigan. And then after I had finished this, I went for the last UFO that I had. I think, no, it wasn't, the second to last UFO, which is a jacket. And it looks like this. It's also one that I cut quite a while ago, and I did not take account of my big bottom. But the good thing about this pattern is it's quite short, and it has this, it is split at the sides. So I fit into this quite wonderfully. That pattern is another fashion style. It's this one here. It's from the July issue 2016. It looks like this. It has a lot of wonderful patterns that I want to make. So that's the jacket. I did a size 40 again because for fashion style it's what I need. And yeah, it looks like this. It has 3/4 length sleeves. I still need to kind of close them because they have a split or a slit. I'm not sure what it's called. And I'm not sure yet how to close these, so they are still open. But yeah, that's my jacket. It has pockets in here. That's it. That's the size of the pocket. I can barely get my fingers in. Super small pockets, but I'm kind of happy with it. The fabric is like a PK, or yeah, it's like a waffle. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can totally tell. And it's a bit stretchy. So this was interesting to work with. I did do the neckline with bias binding. And the buttons are vintage buttons that I got at the flea market again. They have a totally different color, but they work wonderful. The problem with this jacket is it is not black. This is a very, very dark navy. And putting on black buttons looked awful. Finding dark navy buttons, impossible. So I went for those. And I think they look quite great. Now the sun is bothering me and I don't have any way to change that. Great. So yeah, I made this jacket. It fits wonderfully. I'm quite proud of it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So what did I do then? I started, oh, it's another UFO. Well, not really. I had started this a few weeks before. It is a wrap Peplum blouse top thing. The pattern is from Simplicity. It is a recent release. It looks like this. I have it in the magazine, of course, because I have the magazine, which is a German thing. It's the issue 3, 2017. And I went for a size 42. This version here, the blouse. There's also a dress version. I did the blouse. It looks like this. The fabric is from my husband. He bought this fabric in India and brought it back home. And it looks amazing in this top. You can see it has a peplum here. I did something wrong because that's how I roll. The longer, you have one shorter piece in the front and one longer piece. The longer piece should be in the front. For my blouse, it's in the back because I did attach these ties wrong, and I am not going to change that because I would have to take apart the whole thing. That's not going to happen. What it is lined for the body part. The peplum is not lined, but the rest is lined. And I put in this light gray lining. Yeah, putting in lining, not one of my favorite things, I have to say. Apart from that, I really like how it turned out. What I don't like, and that's probably because I don't have tits. You know, I'm very flat. And this thing is a wrap blouse, and you know, if you have breasts, it would fill it up and it wouldn't gape. I don't, so it just gaps open. So I have to put in either a small popper that you cannot see to pop it close up here, or I have to use a safety pin to keep it close because it just flaps open and I don't like that. So I have to change that. But yeah, this is going to be worn a lot next year in summer, I'm sure, because I love the fabric. It looks amazing. And it just, yeah. What I'm quite happy about is that I almost got it to match in the front. As you can see here. Can you see how the colors match? Total coincidence, but nobody knows that, you know. People are just going to think, oh, look at her pattern matching. And I said, yep, I'm the master. And I'm just not. It's a coincidence, but it worked out wonderfully. So I am not going to complain. So after I finished my wrap top, I decided, ooh, I really like how this peplum stuff looks. I'm going to make another peplum. And I did. And this is, I think, one of my favorite makes. The pattern is from a German magazine. Again, it's Diana Nemo de Plus. It's for big girls. And this is the pattern that I used. This peplum blouse. You use a stretch cotton, but not a jersey. There's a big difference there. Stretch cottons are woven fabrics with an, you know, a stretch part of the fabric. And this is mine. The fabric is another Max Mara, as was the one for the jacket. I didn't tell you that. Max Mara fabric from Glaser. And I am absolutely in love with this. What I did for the size, I did the top of the sleeve and the top of the top until, like, you know, the bust in a size 40, 42, 40, not sure. Then I went out for the waist to the next bigger size, which is, I think, then a 42. And then I went from the 42 to a 46 for the hip. So this is a mashup of different sizes. I also did different sizes for the sleeves. The sleeve cap is a 40 because it had to fit in the top. And then I made it wider to a 42 because, you know, I have arms. So yeah, it's a mashup of all the different sizes, but this one fits like a glove. It turned out amazing. It has a Peter Pan collar, which is the first time I did one of those. The collar is open in the back, It has a concealed zip all the way down here. It has darts in the top and in the back, Peplum. There are 2 darts, one vertical and one, you know, normal bust dart in the top, and a, what's the word? A box pleat. Not a box pleat, it's just a pleat in the top, in the bottom of the Peplum. And yeah, I'm just so happy with this. It turned out great. And what I did do bias binding for the edges on the sleeves, and also for the bottom of the Peplum. And oh, I love this. I'm so happy with this. It's ridiculous. I did find another cardigan that I got from my mom a long time ago, and I've never worn it because I didn't never know what to pair it with. It's a light brown cardigan, and I didn't bring it. And it has a very deep V-neck, and there's embroidered bead embroidery all around the front at the neck opening. And the colors of the beads are the exact same colors that I have in this Peplum, so this is the perfect layering piece for that. So yeah, I'm so super happy with how this one turned out, and I want to make more because it just looks so cute. And I got the sizing perfect, because that is one thing that you always have to consider. When you sew something for yourself, you cannot just say, oh, I'm a size 40, I'm gonna do that. You always have to measure your pattern pieces, you know, around the bust, around the waist, around the hip, if it's for a top. And then you have to adjust stuff. That's why I use like 4 different sizes for this pattern to make sure that it would fit my shape. That's the great thing about sewing as well. You can just make things fit you. So then, after that, I decided to finish my almost last UFO. I only have one started clothing piece now. It's a bra, and it's not gonna fit. So I just, yeah, I'm ignoring it right now. But what I didn't ignore is this pajama. It looks like this. It's knit fabric. I'm gonna show you the pattern first. The pattern is this one here, Simplicity 1502A. And I went for version C, which is this one, and also this one here. The shorts and the top with, but I did the top D. So I did the top like this and the shorts. And what I had to do for this, again, with the sizing, I went for a size M for the top part and XL for the bottoms. Fits great. So this is what it looks like. This is the top. I did attach, oh man, I did attach lace. First I hadn't, but then I just dug out some piece from my stash and decided, oh, that looks quite nice. So I attached that piece of lace. The pattern has you do it with bias binding, so it wouldn't stretch out too much for the neckline and the sleeves. The bottom is just twin needled around. And so yeah, that's the size M piece. Fits perfectly, super easy to sew up. And the bottoms, I did size XL, and they fit great as well. I know they look gigantic, but they are quite wide in the leg, but you know, I needed it to go around my ass. So this is what I did with this fabric. And I got this fabric at a fabric market that happens once a year close to me. And my friend and I, we were walking up to this booth, and there was like a wash basket in front of it. And I looked in, and there were just big pieces of fabric, beautiful ones. And then she said, oh, those leftovers up there, they're €2 a piece. I was like, what did she just say? Did she just say €2 a piece? And she said, yeah, I want to get rid of those. So I got this fabric for €2, and I would not have worn it as a top or a dress, to be fair. But for a pajama, I absolutely don't care. I think they are super cute. And yeah, they cost me €2, so I'm happy with that. And I have 2 more pieces of fabric from her. And my friend, she got, I think, 3 or 4 pieces as well. And one of the pieces that I have is like 4 meters of a very nice drapey cotton fabric. So yeah, that was a bargain. So that was the pajamas. And then I had finished all of these things, and then the day of the funeral rolled around. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to make something for that. I decided that in the morning. In the afternoon, I had to be there with an hour drive between. So I just decided I want to have something me made for this. And I whipped up this skirt. This fabric was a gift from my friend, the stitchionista. And I originally wanted to make like a jacket, blouse, blazer thing out of it. And then I thought, this is like very dark. It can be worn for a funeral. And so I made a skirt out of it. And what you finally are able to see, there are very bright, and not bright, but colorful threads in this. And I love it. I think it turned out amazing. And I will totally wear this for other things as well, you know, because I think if I pair this with a red shirt and black tights, I'm ready to go, you know. So I made this skirt. I did not do pattern matching. I just didn't have time for stuff like that. So what it is the Hollyburn skirt. The pattern is by Sewaholic. And I did go for the second largest size, which I'm quite a bit astounded by. I went for a size 14 and it goes up to a size 16. So yeah, if you want to make the Hollyburn skirt and you're a bit bigger than me, you might not fit into it, which is a shame. But yes, so I made the Hollyburn skirt. It does not have a lining. It's just, you know, just a normal thing. What I did bias binding for the bottom in black. And yeah, it fits perfectly. It has nice big pockets. It has a concealed zip in the back. You can only see the zipper pull here. And this fabric is a wool fabric. So it's super warm, very nice. It looks great. I love the look of this. And I'm, like I said, I'm going to wear this tons, and I'm always going to remember who I made it for. So yes, I made my first Hollyburn skirt. And then the day after, I decided, you know what, I really like that skirt, but I want a second version. So I made a second version. And it's this fabric here. It's Robert Kaufman fabric. My husband brought me this back from a work trip to the US. And it is actually a fabric with a border print that you can see a bit of here. But yeah, I love this so much. I think this is wonderful. It goes with everything, like really everything, because there's every color in this. I paired it with a black t-shirt and a mustard yellow cardigan because I love mustard, and I think it goes great with my complexion. So yeah, that's my second version, Hollyburn skirt. And you know, now that I have traced the pattern and I know that it fits perfectly, this is a thing of 2 hours, maybe. Cutting all the pieces, overlocking them so they will not fray, and assembling. Super easy, super quick. What I did again for the bottom, I did bias binding because I just like the look of that. It's yellow for this one. I also used a yellow zip that I didn't manage to sew in completely concealed, but who cares? And then what I also did is as I overlocked all the pieces, I did not turn this under for the waist. I just sewed it on because, you know, it's overlocked. Nothing can happen there. So yes, my second Hollyburn skirt, not my last. I'm gonna make many, many more of these because they fit amazing. The shape is perfect for my body because, you know, it sits in the waist, and I do have a waist, a pronounced one. And then it just flares out so my ass has enough room. And I love this. So that's the clothes that I made. And then I was burned out of all my sewing and I didn't want to sew. And then like a week or two later, I decided, you know what, I could make some project bags. And I did make some project bags. I have to put this over here as well. I have my son's kitty prison here with all the hangers on it. So I made project bags, and I have decided to go back to doing my style, my style, you know, not project bags that you can get everywhere, but my distinct style. And I want to do collections. You know, there's this collection, then there's this collection. They're all going to be one-offs, and I'm so excited. So I made project bags, and this is what they look like. They're quite big, you know, compared to me. They're as wide as I am. So this is the front. They have my label on the back this time. They're made just from one fabric because I didn't want to put too much on. I wanted this piece of fabric to shine, and it is appliqued onto the fabric. So I made one, then I made this one. They all have the fabric on the zippers. And I have this yellow one. Again, with matching zipper fabric stuff. Zipper ends, I'm not sure what this is called, but you know what I mean. And that's the fourth one so far. There will be 15 of those because I have 15 of these motifs. There are 15 different ones. They're all going to be different. And what I've decided now, not quite, I have to put them back into this box. I am going to make some project bags over the next few months and weeks. And I will do a project bag update in my shop at the end of January. So everything that I will finish until then will go up in one big update. And that update will hopefully fund some of my trip to Edinburgh. We will see. So yeah, those are all the things that I have finished. But I also have one thing in progress and two things on the to-do list. So I'm going to show you my in progress thing first. I am working on a cardigan, and I'm not sure, I think there's just a line drawing in here. So this is it. Cannot see anything. The pattern is in another Simplicity magazine. It's issue 3, 2013. And the Stitchionista looked it up. And if that is, yes, here it is. It is New Look 6735 is this pattern. Because the German Simplicity magazine is just made of made of different single patterns. So that's what I'm doing right now. Here is a line drawing that might tell you a bit more. This is it. I am not doing the belt because I think that looks like a dressing gown. So, and now, you ready? I decided to make a cardigan for, you know, around the house. And this is my fabric. It's super bright, but awesome. So this is what it looks like so far. I have everything assembled. The only thing I have to do is make buttonholes and sew on buttons. So here it is. It's, yeah, looks like this. I have used dark blue for the button band, and this is just a simple ribbing fabric. And I did interface it on this side so I could sew, make the buttonholes, you know, it wouldn't stretch that much. But yes, this is the fabric for my cardigan. That's the button band. And I have selected these buttons. They're dark blue and they fit perfectly. So this is gonna happen. I'm gonna have to make 4 buttonholes and sew on buttons, and then this will be done. And I can show it to you again. And then I have 2 things that I have planned that I really want to make. The first one is a holly burn skirt, because like I said, I'm going to make like 20 of those. They're super quick, they fit amazing. So yeah, holly burn skirt by Sewaholic. And this is my fabric. I got this fabric on eBay. I have no idea what it is. It is very, not stiff, but it's also not super drapey. Yeah, I just love this. I think it will make a great holly burn skirt. So this is gonna happen. Holly burn skirt out of this fabric. And I think very soon, because like I said before, these are super quick. And then the other thing that's gonna take a bit longer. I said before that I got the whole year 2006 Buddha magazines on eBay. I also got 2005. And the reason for getting both of these is this dress. So this is the magazine that I'm going to use. It's issue number 325. And I've wanted to make this since this pattern came out for the first time, because I was interested in sewing back then, and I did copy the pattern and the instructions, but I did not copy the pattern itself, so the pattern pieces. And the magazine wasn't mine. So I found this picture in my stuff, and I thought, I really like that. Where is the, copied pattern, the pattern pieces? And I couldn't find them because I had given back the magazine to the person who it belonged to. And then I went looking. So I found all 12 magazines and got them. So this is the dress that I fell in love with 12 years ago and that I still love. They used denim, and it's called boucle in Germany, but it's not a boucle. I have no idea what it is. It's just a, So this dress, I want to make this dress, but not out of these fabrics. What I decided to do is use a fabric that I already have and pair it with something that I had to get. So this is corduroy in a dark brown, and this will be all the denim bits. And for the non-denim part of the dress, I bought this corduroy. It's going to be a dark dress, but we have winter, so I don't want to wear bright yellow and orange. And I'm very excited for this. I think if I can manage to make this and not screw it up, it's going to be amazing. If I cannot manage and will screw it up, at least the fabric wasn't too expensive, so it's gonna work. I think it's going to look great. Both of these fabrics are from PassioKnit. And the good thing about this fabric is you only need a meter of each of those. Because of how it's constructed, you only need smaller pieces. So yeah, that is my plan. I want to make this dress badly. I think it's going to look amazing. So that is it. That's all the sewing. Now that we are 42 minutes into this, you might understand why I had to do 2 different videos, because it was just so much stuff to talk about. I hope I will be back to you next week with my normal format, sewing and knitting and everything in one, and shorter episodes, because I'm not a big fan of this long stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is it. I want to thank all of you for the nice words you had for me, and for getting in touch and just telling me that it's okay and that it will be better someday. So yeah, I'm going to stop. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will talk to you again hopefully next week. Until then, enjoy everything you do. Bye.